Among all the mysteries of One Piece, the Will of D is one of the most speculated. Today I'm breaking down my theory of what it is, how it spread, and why the current holders act the way they do. What's good? I'm Jess, aka Coco Sensei. I do anime and manga related content, reviews, and occasionally talk about Jesus. If you're new, welcome. Get a snack and sit down because we got a lot to talk about. The Will of D is the mystery surrounding the people who have the initial D in their names. These people tend to be tied, not always by blood though, but by fate. And most of the D holders that we know have been people of great renown. For better or for worse, most of the world-shaking events that we know of have been instigated by the D.
These nuts!
Wars, changes in government, bringing in the dawn of a new era. When a D clan member moves, the world takes notice. Who we know carry this initial so far in the story is Gold D. Roger, Rox D. Zebek, Luffy, Ace, Garp, Dragon, Ace's mom Rouge, Blackbeard, Saul, Law, and Nefertari D. Lily. Kureha was the first one to mention the Will of D back in Drum Island, when she revealed that the true name of the Pirate King was Gold D. Roger. She told Dalton that Chopper had joined up with a very dangerous man. And then much later we learned, when Law inquired about it, Corazon told him that those who bear that name are the natural enemy of the gods. But according to Emu, the current holders don't even understand the true power that it carries. They are just a faint echo from the past. So what is the Will of D? Well, in my recent Void Century video, I theorized what actually happened during that time. My theory was based around the idea that Emu betrayed the Great Kingdom, Joy Boy sacrificed himself, and the rise of the D clan was the result. I won't go into specifics, so you can go check out that video next. But what I explained was the D clan was the remnant of those leftover allies and crewmates of Joy Boy. Emu spread lies calling them devils, so they took on that name, but expanded it. The D is multifaceted. The Will of D is the will of the devils who will bring the dawn. And although their local rebellions failed during that time, they passed on their will through the generations, believing that one day, the wrongs that occurred during that time would be righted. But one thing you'll notice about the most recent carriers is that there seems to be different factions of the D clan. Those like Blackbeard and Rox D. Zebek seem to crave power. Garp and Dragon seem to strive for overall justice, while Luffy and Gold D. Roger seem to only seek freedom. So which is the true attribute of the inherited Will of D? Is it power, justice, or freedom? The answer is exactly.
Say what?
Power, justice, and freedom all play a role in what the original members strived for. In my Void Century video, I painted the picture of these once great warriors who are now suddenly without a leader, a country, and are on the run from Emu's forces. It's not crazy to think that some of these men crave to fight back and avenge Joy Boy in their homeland. Of course they would. Those would be the ones who sought revenge as their top priority. And to enact vengeance, you need power. While on the other hand, some would want justice. Joy Boy was wrongfully killed, and the Great Kingdom was betrayed and obliterated. A true injustice was done, and now those who were allied with Joy Boy were considered devils and enemies of the New World Order. We know how bad the government is today. Surely they would have been worse back then. So in seeking justice, some would focus on righting the wrongs done to them and their people. Revenge and power versus justice and restoration. Initially on the surface, these can seem like two heads of the same coin. The D clan would have started with all of these ideals being the priority, but soon they would realize they had different ideas about bringing that dawn. We all know people are people, and soon infighting would probably send members along different paths. Those who sought power would pass down the will of the devils, but those who sought justice would pass down the will of the dawn. But what about freedom? In this story, freedom is one of the main themes. The quest for adventure and freedom, and the nuance of what that actually means and looks like. Freedom is defined as the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. I think the D clan who crave freedom are those who directly inherited Joy Boy's own personal will. Although I have theorized that this current incarnation of Joy Boy wants revenge, I also believe that he's not a slave to it either. Let me explain. When you are a vengeful person, it's all you can think about, all you work towards. Getting back at that person is all you live for. But in that, you become a slave to your own vengeance. That's why many people feel deeply empty and unfulfilled once they get revenge, because they have nothing else going on. I love the quote from Avatar that says, "Revenge is like a two-headed rat viper. While you watch your enemy go down, you're being poisoned yourself." A perfect example of this is Sasuke from Naruto. That boy basically sold his soul to gain enough power to avenge his clan, but he completely lost himself in the process. I think Luffy is a healthy example of the opposite of this. He's beefing with Akainu and Blackbeard for the capture and ultimate death of Ace, but he is not so hell-bent on getting back at them that he has decided not to enjoy his adventures along the way. He's confident at the right time he will see them again, and you already know he'll be ready for all the smoke, but he will freely act or not act in the meantime, because that is truly what freedom is. The Will of D is such a dope concept, and ultimately I believe the final battle will be between those who carry the initial D. Luffy versus Blackbeard will be the last battle. Blackbeard is the chaotic opposite of Luffy. I'll have an analysis video about that coming out soon, so make sure to lock in so you don't miss out. Drop your thoughts about the Will of D. What are your theories about it? And what faction do you think will ultimately change the world? If you want more videos like this and want to be a part of my crew of misfits, hit that like and subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're not missing out on any new content. I'm Jess, aka Coco Sensei, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Love you guys.